Recordtown has a great selection of cassettes and CDs from all your favorites, including Mariah Carey, Harry Connick Jr., and Barbra Streisand, and a great selection of videos. Happy holidays from Recordtown.
At Great Garden.
Edina, Minnesota, 1956. The first ever shopping mall would open in the U.S., Southdale Center, but it wouldn't be until the 80s that they would spike in popularity and become such a symbol of American culture. It would even account for up to 33% of all retail sales in the U.S. Nowadays, many malls across the U.S. are ghost towns, hollow shells of what they once were. This begs the question: shopping malls were the central point for socializing, eating, seeing movies, and of course, shopping. Malls were somewhat rare in the early days, though, viewed as sort of an attraction similar to theme parks like Disneyland or Six Flags, but more and more popped up across the US, and they became commonplace in suburban areas. By the late 70s, early 80s, malls would see a huge spike in popularity as they became the hangout spot for teens. This spike is seen in both media then and now. Films like Dawn of the Dead, Chopping Mall, and later on Mallrats almost all take place entirely in shopping malls. And more recently, the third season of Stranger Things almost revolves around the Starcourt Mall location. By the early 90s, mega malls were beginning to pop up as well. Hundreds of stores, theme parks within the malls, aquariums, and more. The mall went from a place of shopping to this entire experience of its own. But the insane popularity these places used to see is not really a thing anymore. By 2009, malls were on a visually notable downfall, with thousands of stores closing across the US. Usually a telltale sign of malls declining is the closing of anchor stores, the big stores that persist in a mall. Typically these are Sears, Macy's, JCPenney. These places are the big stores that the malls are basically designed around bringing traffic to. By 2010, more than 10,000 stores were closing across the US, with an estimated 3 of 4 malls completely closing down by 2022. So why is it that these once incredibly popular places are fizzling down to nothing? Online shopping has taken a huge incentive away from shopping in malls. Why spend the whole day when it could take maybe 10 to 15 minutes to get everything you want online? Also, the demographic for malls, teenagers and young adults, are a lot different from how they used to be. Most teens spend a majority of their time on social media, and young adults just don't have the money to spend at malls. Student debt is at an all-time high, housing and renting are extremely expensive, and minimum wage just isn't cutting it. I remember a time in my early childhood where going to the mall was this whole deal. A whole day shopping, getting new clothes for school, getting food from a new spot in the food court, even though 90% of the time I ended up choosing between Taco Bell and the pizza place with a name that I can't quite remember. Being excited to go to the toy stores and GameStop. Even if I didn't get anything, it was something that I looked forward to. Maybe it's nostalgia, but going to these malls was part of my childhood. And revisiting them now, with them empty, in disrepair, a shell of anything is slightly remembering what it once was, is just depressing. Especially since now I'm at the age that a lot of teenagers were when they spent all of their time in the mall. But I guess this is just part of growing up.